Welcome back to another episode of Locky Top Sports. I'm joined with Josh. We will be joined with a special guest today from the great state of South Carolina, Palmetto State. Uh, um, Chase.
I can't believe we're letting this guy on our show.
Yep.
But it's Thanksgiving. It's a good time to acknowledge that we have friends that may not always have the same ideas or opinions that align with ours. So, we'll
Yep.
keep the peace for this week, rivalry week. So, good time to bring a rival fan onto the show. But it's good to be back, Naveen. We've had a crazy month.
Mhm.
Whether it's with football or the show. It's just been, or with real life. Just
Yeah.
trying to make everything happen here. But yeah, man. Well, welcome into all the viewers and welcome back to the show, man. It's good to be back.
Yeah. I think we had quite the crazy week last week. We had Indiana being proven as frauds, Bama being reproven as frauds, Ole Miss shitting the bed, all kinds of stuff that affects our college football rankings and the playoff picture. Now we have sort of the playoff scenario where we have two lost teams in, one lost teams in, and Oregon as the remaining, top dog with no losses, 11-0 as the number one spot. But before we get into that general playoff picture, let's talk about Tennessee first. We did not get to recap the Tennessee versus Georgia game, and obviously we also played a UTEP game after we last talked. So um, I'll start with Georgia game. Man,
Vibes were low, man. I'm not gonna lie. That was tough. Um, but dude, I'll let you start off the Georgia game first, man. I'll say what I got to say for a little bit later, but it's definitely a tough week, and UTEP did very little to ease the pain, but
mhm.
tonight's rankings did help a little bit. But what were your big takeaways from the night in Athens?
Well, first of all, um, Georgia covered, and I think that was what I said that they would do on the podcast. It looked a little bit more bleak in the second half than the first half. Kind of first half, we were with them the whole game, 17-17 heading into the half. And then they had Carson Beck rush for a touchdown and Frazier rush for a touchdown. It had to have a much better performance from Carson Beck than we had seen before. And although I hate kind of pumping him up, he did perform a lot better than we'd seen him in the past. So he seems to get up for these Georgia QBs. Definitely seem to get up for the Tennessee game. That's the one game that no matter
Yeah, man.
what
You're I
show
mean,
up
you're
for.
not wrong, dude. Over the history of this series, man, it just seems like uh that's one of the things that you mentioned there. They do get up for the Tennessee game. I think Tennessee's defense has done a good job of making Georgia and Florida quarterbacks look like Heisman Trophy winners or at least contenders every time we play them.
Mm-hmm.
Um, if Florida's quarterback hadn't blown out his knee, God only knows what that would have looked like. And DJ Lagway, I don't know. You've been watching him play the last few weeks, but he's been coming along. But yeah, it was really disappointing to see our defense um, not have the type of game that they've had all year against Georgia. Really would have liked to seen a lot more pressures. I think we've seen Uncle Fluffy rear his ugly head, in that Georgia game. Went away from a lot of the pressures, a lot of the hurries that we've had on the quarterback, and a lot of the sacks that our defensive line has been able to establish throughout the year. And we picked a really bad time to do it. So if we look at that second half, I mean, being shut out after coming out, I would say scorching hot in that first half, it was a real disappointment. And that we were kind of taken out of the playoff picture for about a week until the heavens parted and God showed a little bit of mercy on the Vols this past weekend. I mean, just think about that. We make UTEP say uncle. We cranked the arm back. I think we put them down 56-0. Really slow start in the first quarter too. So to me, that was kind of concerning to see that even after the Georgia loss coming into UTEP and then starting off slow. But the 56-0 and then everything else just kind of worked out. We needed a lot of things to happen for us to get back in the playoff picture. But yeah, what were your thoughts when you kind of doom scrolling on the phone Saturday, man, looking at all the box scores? What were you thinking?
Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, Florida beating Ole Miss was less of a shock than the way that Oklahoma just
walked the dog.
Yeah, waterboarded, teabagged. I don't know. They did some advanced maneuvers on Jalen Milroe, and they let the naysayers know, if you will. They lanked them. I was just watching that. I was like, holy shit, what the fuck is going on? But yeah, like we got the two major things that we needed to do is make sure that,
Bama loss.
Yep. Bama loss and Ole Miss loss, right? We're in a weird situation where we need Georgia to be good now, right?
Yeah.
Because we need to we need to keep the quality win. Like we go back into disaster zone if Georgia Tech beats Georgia or if they lose the SEC championship game. Some combination of those things could fuck us, right? When we're let's say, we're not going to be in the SEC championship game. I did want to talk to you guys about that because it almost seems like playing in your conference's championship game with
it's almost a penalty.
Yeah, with this new format, can really fuck you up. It's way better to avoid it.
Yeah, do the Tennessee thing.
Yeah,
just get the large bid with 2 losses. And
right.
Yeah, like I was making jokes about Josh Heupel playing 4D chess. I think he really was the whole time.
Yeah, I mean it's possible, dude.
That's the only way to explain the Arkansas loss.
Yeah, I think the major thing I took away from the Georgia game was that, man, this guy owes us so many road wins. Like, fuck, man. Like,
yeah, absolutely. So speaking of, we got a big one. We got a big one this week, man. Yeah, against Vandy.
Yeah, I think for the most part, I think this is gonna be a close game. You'll see on my best bets that I have Vandy plus 11. I know it's a little sacrilegious here.
Wow.
I do think that Tennessee will win the game, but by 7 to 10 points, I'm thinking. But man, like I don't. If we lose to fucking Vanderbilt to end the season,
we're not losing that game, man. And here's what I tell you, we have had a few slights over the past couple weeks. Even today, Dylan Sampson kind of left off the Doak Walker award watch list. I mean, he's the leading rusher in the SEC, leading rushing touchdown guy in the SEC, and not to be even named as the finalist for the best running back in the country. There's some bulletin board material floating around there that could be used as motivation. And at the end of the day, it's Vanderbilt, man. Like I've put it out there. I'm boycotting Tennessee football if they go down there and lose to Vanderbilt. Like I will never watch Tennessee football again until for the rest of my life. I will boycott them to the day I die if we lose to Vanderbilt. So, not going to happen. I think we've only lost to them like 3 or 4 times my entire life. That's why Bob Nealon was hired at Tennessee. When they hired Bob Nealon to come in and coach the Vols, 100 years ago, the stipulation was beat Vanderbilt. Because for some reason Vanderbilt was beating us in the the early 1900s, and Not after Neyland got there. They might have. I think they've maybe beaten us like less than 10 times since Bob Neyland was hired as head coach. There's been a whole lot of football played since then. But I'm not going to take anything away from Vandy, man. They're a scrappy team this year. This is not your granddad's Vanderbilt by any stretch of the imagination. But looks like we got our resident Gamecock here. He's made it onto the show. I don't know what's going on. I apologize, guys, to the audience out there.
Get it together.
I know. I'm using my phone.
So Chase, what were your thoughts on last week's action? Like specifically, Ole Miss losing, Bama losing, those type of things. What were your thoughts watching those games?
I think now with a 12-team playoff, people are just paying more attention. This is just normal SEC season. Everybody just punches everybody in the face, but now that we don't have the East and the West, it's not the same ones just punching each other over and over. So I really just think all that's happened is everybody's getting the attention to the SEC because we're obviously going to have the most teams in the playoff, and everybody's trying to watch now. Is it going to be Tennessee, Ole Miss? How in the world did Bama lose? If you kept up with Bama this year, you know how they lost. How did Oklahoma upset them? Ole Miss. If you pay attention to Florida, Florida's done nothing but got better since DJ Lagway come back. So I wasn't surprised. I was just enjoying the fight. I texted y'all last week and I was like, we need chaos in the front 15. Bad.
Well, that's what happened, man.
It's fun to watch.
Yeah, that's definitely what happened. Before you popped on, we were previewing Vanderbilt and Tennessee. So I know I got kind of privy to your best bets, so I kind of know where you're already going with this. So I'm going to give you 5 minutes max on.
I don't need 5 minutes on Tennessee, baby. I don't need 5 minutes for that.
Let's go ahead and hear what you got to say.
I got Vandy, and here's why I got Vandy. It's not
Vandy
like
covering or Vandy winning?
No, just Vandy winning. Vandy winning.
You're insane.
Okay. It's not a shot at Tennessee. It's really not. I like Vandy all year. If you go back to the beginning of the podcast, like at the very front of the year, I talked about how Vandy was going to be decent this year. I didn't think they were going to win a ton. They've done better than what I thought, but I thought Vandy was going to be tough. I saw some of their stuff with the transfer and all that stuff. I love to get into the transfer portal with the SEC, especially this year, because I knew it was going to shake everything up because we benefited greatly from it. Here's my thing with Tennessee. I was high on Tennessee at the beginning of the year. We did a pod. It was the week y'all were playing Oklahoma. I said, I think Tennessee is just going to ragdoll, which at that point, Tennessee had played nobody. All right. Tennessee has benefited this year from having not too strong of a schedule, which is a benefit to Tennessee this year.
Have you looked at our SOS?
Yeah, I've looked at your games.
Strength of schedule's top 20 strength of schedule, man. So
yeah, well, I mean, you're in the SEC. I'm talking about like the dogs up top, though. You're not even close.
we haven't played a mediocre LSU team and lost at home. But okay, keep going.
No, you played a shit Arkansas team and got your ass kicked
on the road. That's right. And
Arkansas.
Arkansas's got the same record as LSU at this point.
If you're going to talk trash,
6-6.
If you're going to talk trash on Arkansas, you got no room to speak on Vandy this year.
6-6, man. Yeah, Vandy and Arkansas is going to have the same same record at the end of the year.
Vandy is way better than Arkansas, and you know it.
But I don't know.
Man, you after this week. But whenever y'all played Oklahoma, it was 25-15, and I watched the game, and I was like, this ain't the Tennessee team I thought. And then throughout the year, me and you have text back and forth. I even called you one night, and I was like, yo, what's going on? Like, I've paid some attention to Tennessee, but I haven't paid this much. Me and you talk, you're like, I don't know. And I was like, what is going on?
I don't know what's wrong. I don't know what's wrong with our offense, man.
My thing with Tennessee, and you can call it a hater, whatever. I'll talk about every SEC school, including mine. I think Tennessee is a very good defense with a mediocre offense. And that is reverse of Josh Huppel football teams. It's usually the polar opposite. He's got a team that's going to score 69 and they're going to give up 74 in return. So I think it's a flip there. I mean, show me the lie. It's how it is. And that's a good thing for Josh Huppel because the whole time you're like, if he can just get a defense and the offense won't go 3 and out in 12 seconds and give him a little bit of a rest, that'll be great. Well, the defense is showing up, and the offense, pokes his head out just in time for Tennessee to come through.
Well, give me So give me your reason. You said you didn't need 5 minutes. You've already been on 7. Give me what it is that you think subjectively that Tennessee will lose to Vanderbilt.
Due to the chaos that is going on No, listen to me. No.
Tennessee, Vanderbilt. I don't care about Ole Miss losing to Florida.
That right, and people didn't care that Auburn won. But I'm telling you, there was something about last week. It got stirring. And I just genuinely, I think that Vanderbilt is good enough to beat y'all on that Saturday. Not normally, but I think that the stakes are going to be raised. Vandy's got nothing to lose, and it is not good playing teams that don't have anything to lose because they don't have pressure. There's zero pressure on Vandy's side. Tennessee has all the pressure. You're not going to the SEC championship game. You're not going to get that extra game in there. You got a terrible loss on your record. You're not at the front of the pack in the 12.
Hold on. Who's the terrible loss?
Arkansas.
Look, man, I saw another orange team on a graphic with the CFP rankings that said Arkansas was a quality win.
How did you just tell me I can't talk about other teams and you go straight to talking to about another team? You take the loss.
I'm only referencing you said we had a terrible loss.
How about this? Go back to the podcast after you lost to Arkansas and go listen to the things you said. The house is falling. The roof is gone. The twister come through. We're out. It's basketball season, boys.
Look,
it's your word, but
it's your word.
No, you're just flying a little bit high because you're right here at the 12 now. You thought your season was over with. You did.
No, listen. I'm only using the logic of the committee because that's the thing that's frustrating to me is because this whole thing with the committee is just stupid. Like there's nothing that makes any sense. The fact that they still have Alabama 13th is beyond anything that I can even begin to understand about football other than what we already know. What it boils down to is money and brand. That's it.
Yeah. I want to add to that point, Josh. You mentioned the other orange team. I got a cousin out there, big time Texas fan.
Big Texas, yeah.
That's a very good point. It's a bad loss to Arkansas for Tennessee, and it's a quality win for Texas.
It's because Texas played nobody.
Make that make sense. Texas is what, 3 in the rankings this week?
Yeah.
Okay, they're 3rd in the rankings. Their quality wins is about to be a 6-6 Vanderbilt team after Saturday, and Arkansas.
So I will say that somehow this season, if you put Vanderbilt versus a team that they're not supposed to win against, they stay close. You saw them play Texas, 3-point game, and you saw them fucking smack Bama. Like they not only won versus Alabama, they fucking smacked them. Kind of took the world by storm at that point. And I think they were a better team at that point than they are now.
Yeah, but they're pretty banged up, I will tell you.
Yeah, they are. They're
really banged up, and you could see it last week versus LSU kind of play out. I think Pavia's kind of on his last leg as well. He's fighting through a lot of things.
He's took a lot of hits this year.
Now, as much as I hate to even give any type of credence to Vanderbilt as being, a decent football team, game respect game. They've come out there and they've done some very uncharacteristic things that we all know that Vanderbilt is usually a 1-11 team or a 2-10 team year in and year out, and they're a scrappy bunch. So yeah,
I'm happy for them.
To your point, like they've played everybody, one or two possessions at most. They've kept a lot of games really close. And if we come out in that first quarter like we did against UTEP last week, we'll be down by 2 touchdowns and not know what happened.
Yep.
Yeah. I think that's fair. I don't think that Vanderbilt is going to win, but the number one thing is with the Josh Heupel game on the road, you can't take anything for granted.
Well, and I knew one of you two. I served that one up like a softball. I knew that was going to come up. And I etched this stat out, early on when I saw the game time release. Josh Heupel's undefeated at Tennessee on the road with any game that starts prior to 1 p.m.
Okay. All right.
And he averages 30, 35 points in the first quarter in those type of games. He did it once against South Carolina.
Okay. Fair point. I did not.
2021.
Yeah,
that's
when
Shane Beamer was running like a fake punt on his third possession of the game. He didn't know what to do.
Terrible game. That was a terrible. We weren't a good team that year at all. We were a bad team that year. We struggled bad that year.
All right, Chase. Let me switch gears a little bit and talk about your big game on Saturday.
No, ain't nobody here to talk about South Carolina. This is Lucky Top Sports. Why are we here talking about this stupid game in the Palmetto State, man?
Because it affects the playoffs.
Yeah, it affects the playoffs.
Hey, the only person out of those two getting in is Clemson. That's it. South Carolina ain't getting in.
Okay.
That's a pipe dream. You can beat Clemson 1,000-0. Y'all ain't getting in.
Beginning of the year, we were only going to win 3 games. And then after that, maybe 5. And after that, man, they'll be lucky to get bowl eligible. We did that like 3-4 weeks ago. We're the hottest team in college football.
Chase, I will say that you started off with the 5, and then you upgraded to 8, and then you went down.
I did.
He's the one that moves the goalpost.
Me. That's what I'm saying. It's me. Yeah, it is me. It's me. We have. If you'll watch the South Carolina game this year, you're going to hear the quarterback. Everybody's hyped up on Lenore Sellers. I was hyped up at the beginning of the year. All right, you'll hear these guys catching the football.
You and him use the same toothpaste and toothbrush. All that good stuff.
It sucks whenever your team you feel like your team's so high, and you got this huge 5-star quarterback, and then we just walk a freshman in, and he dog walks him all year. Anyways,
who's that?
Nico. Lenore's is way better than Nico this year, and played better competition.
I won't disagree with that.
So, anyways,
I wouldn't say he played better competition, but I wouldn't disagree that he's better. He's out playing Nico.
Didn't you just tell me look at strength of schedule indicator and y'all were top 20 in the country?
Well, I mean, you're the one that disagreed with me, but Gas Pipe, I'd say, has probably played better than Nico.
Correct.
You don't know nothing about no Gas Pipe.
I don't. That's got to be a cousin loving reference.
But I'll tell you one thing. One pipe y'all do know about if you think you're getting in the playoffs. That's the crack pipe.
Here we go.
Because y'all ain't getting in.
Here we go.
So go ahead. Let's talk about
Chase. What are 3 things you need to do to beat Clemson?
Win the turnover battle.
Okay.
Start strong. Every game we come out and we start strong, we win.
This guy knows ball, boys. He knows ball.
Yeah. And also not be Tennessee against UTEP last week. We've got to come out and actually play football from the jump and not just make our defense do everything while Nico warms up for 2.5 quarters before he starts scoring. Really, that's it. We got to win a turnover battle, and that's about it, to be honest with you. We are better at Clemson on defense. We are better than Clemson on offense. And I call it what you want. I'm biased, whatever. I think South Carolina is the hottest team in the country. I think they're the hottest. Everything is working in their favor. They're moving the ball. Just hold on. You're going to talk again. Everything is working in their favor. Even whenever we coming down, the Mizzou game, blockbuster game, with a minute 15 they score, we were right back down, and we score with 12, 15 seconds remaining. Everything is just kind of falling into place. South Carolina is a team that's hitting their stride. About 2-3 weeks ago, we fully hit our stride, And I don't think anybody in the SEC can beat South Carolina right now. I think they beat everybody because I think a lot of the SEC schools are still struggling in a lot of areas. And we're not. We're rolling right now. And so we dog walk Clemson, and which should put us in the conversation for number 12. And
Now we going
after
to Liberty
Tennessee
Bowl.
loses and Ole Miss loses, bro, y'all are lucky if y'all get into the 12-team playoff. Period.
No, we in it.
Okay. We'll see. We'll see. We will see. Y'all, this is it. You're going to play Vandy.
I mean, we're going to play Vandy.
You're going to play Vandy.
Do to Vandy, and we'll be in.
And then you're going to do what you always do at the end of the year. You're not playing for nothing other than the Music City Citrus Bowl. You're not going to the top 12 unless something magic happens in front of you. You need to be banking on the same chaos that I'm banking on. Because that's the only road Tennessee's got to get in. You're not getting in. With just winning Vandy, you're not getting in. It's a 2-loss team. They're going to rank other 2-loss teams ahead of you. Watch what I tell you.
Bro, they put us at number 8 tonight. We're locked in if we beat Vanderbilt.
Okay, we'll see. We'll see. You better hope there's a little bit of chaos this Saturday.
So
because here it's a self-licking ice cream cone, bro. Like you think about it.
Mm-hmm.
Georgia and Texas has got to play each other, right? Or Georgia and Texas A&M. Yeah, I'm thinking it's probably going to be Texas A&M. I think Texas A&M is going to beat Texas. Texas A&M is going to go to the SEC championship game. Then they're going to lose to Georgia. So Georgia's automatically in SEC champ, right? Texas A&M, bye-bye. That'll be like their third or fourth loss.
You better hope. It ain't a tight game that goes down to the wire.
Guys, let me ask you a question there. If Georgia loses the SEC championship game to either,
they're still in.
They're gone. They're gone.
They're still in or they're gone?
That's 3 losses. They're out.
Now, so does let's say if they're gone, does Alabama leapfrog them?
There's only one guy on this screen right now that is hoping a 3-loss team can get into the playoffs because his team already has 3 losses.
Until you lose to Vandy, and then you'll be doing the same thing.
That's this fella on this side right here, right?
Hey, I'm a Gamecock man. I got to pull for what I got to pull for, and I got to hope for what I'm hoping for.
Hey, no, I mean, I was in the same boat a week ago. Literally every domino that I needed to fall as a Tennessee fan fell.
Yep.
Every single one of them.
Yeah. I mean, what, Chase, so do you know the situation where South Carolina gets in? Like, you know what has to happen?
All the other teams fall off the face of the earth.
No, and also if we got in, we won't get go to the first round and get throttled by somebody. Anyways,
hey, at least you're in. Here's the thing before you start.
Yeah, there you go. Participation trophies.
Check this out, man. No, check this out. I'm not coming.
What is the point
of
asking me a question if you just say something over the top of the question?
No, because this is important. I'm not coming at you in South Carolina crazy. The playoff committee's coming at y'all crazy, man. Because they got you ranked, 15th, just where I told you you'd be 3 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
We talked after the
election. No. Yeah, but that was after that. You said once we won out. If we won out, we would
where
be 16
will we be
or 15.
At the end of the season? I said, max, you'll be at 15.
Yep. And now we beat Clemson, we'll be higher than 15.
No, you won't. Not if Alabama wins the Iron Bowl. And who's 14? Ole Miss? Oh, yeah, the team that beat y'all? That's why they're still in front of y'all.
How about Arizona State?
What about them?
Arizona State is 16.
Spots. 16. Okay, good. I didn't see the new rankings tonight.
Yeah, I got them, actually.
There you go. Catch Chase up to speed before he goes into his diatribe here on how South Carolina can do some type of astrophysics and defy all the laws of gravity and make it into the playoffs.
All right, so let's start at the top. I got the zoom in view for you guys. As of right now, they're kind of assuming that Arizona State is going to make the – what are they in, ACC?
Pac-12.
No, they're in the ACC.
Pac-12 is a Pac-2. Right? It's a 2-pack right now.
Arizona State is not in the ACC.
They're either in the ACC or the Big 12. I can't remember.
They're Big 12. ACC front runners is Miami and SMU.
Okay. Okay, let me just get the Big 12 up.
That
here.
rolls right off the tongue, right? Miami and
Yep.
SMU.
So
SEC.
yeah, we got
Crazy.
Big 12 champ or Big 12 qualifying Arizona State versus Ohio State. This is the 12 versus the 5. I wanted to bring up this point, guys. I feel like being 5 is the best
it's the
position you
best
can be
one.
in this entire
Easiest
fucking
road.
thing.
Yeah, it's the easiest road.
You play 4 next, and then I mean, look at look at 9 versus 8, right? You got to play 1. But man, wouldn't you think Oregon would rather be 5 than play the winner of Tennessee?
Yeah, Oregon doesn't want any part of either of Tennessee
Well,
or Georgia.
But
But that
11-6.
But that won't happen. The matchup between Tennessee and Georgia won't happen because the SEC championship game will play out however it does. So you either got Georgia as a top 4 playoff team because they're a conference champ. They're not going to be there on that 8 line. So good chance that Tennessee even moves up to the 8 and hosts a playoff game.
Indiana, Penn State, Miami. That's a waste right there of a bracket too.
Yeah.
3
I mean,
teams.
I personally would even like to go on the road to Penn State or Indiana.
I bet you would. I bet you would.
Yeah.
I bet you would.
Yeah, I'd agree there, Josh. Like, I'd rather go to fucking Penn State or Indiana,
and I'm not
than
saying
go to Georgia,
I'm not saying Georgia.
and then get Miami.
Listen, I'd already
that would
told
be
you
nice.
Georgia's not going to be there in the first round for us. I'm saying, even if we don't get to host a playoff game, I'd be cool with Indiana or Penn State. Like Penn State could do the whiteout, and we could just go up there and do what we do.
Right.
And then, to y'all's point, Miami would be perfect. Like, just bring Miami on.
Yes.
So after that, we got SMU, Notre Dame, and Texas. Like, I'd even be cool being in this bracket. You don't want to be playing Ohio State. You don't really want to be playing Georgia, and you don't really want to be playing Oregon. But I don't mind playing Texas. I don't mind playing Notre Dame. I don't mind playing SMU. Any of these.
Ohio State's not scary to me.
13 through 16 for me, Naveen, if you got it.
13 to 16. So we have Boise State, Clemson, Alabama. And then let me just quickly find the other ones.
Bama loses to Auburn, they're out. Clemson loses to South Carolina, they're out.
Right. So then we got Arizona.
Clemson's the first one out already. So
right.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. As far as first and second team out, over here waiting on these 12 to drop. Mm-hmm. Both of them teams, I don't see them. I think Auburn's going to beat Bama, and I think South Carolina's going to beat Clemson. So I think both of those, you can slide them first team, second team out.
Right. So the two teams.
There is no planet Alabama loses the Iron Bowl Saturday.
Okay.
They will set Tuscaloosa on fire.
Okay.
Yeah. So the other teams that are not shown, Josh, are Ole Miss and South Carolina.
There you go.
So
yeah.
So that's the bridge between
Chase, Chase, you got the roadmap here now. Now you have a little bit more of context, and that's all I was trying to provide to you, my good man. There's a little bit of context before you went on your.
I can break it down for you.
Your lobbying.
Break it down, baby.
To the committee.
I can break it down for you.
Break it down.
Break it down, man.
Clemson and Bama lose this weekend. All right. The only person standing in front of us to be one of the ones that are on the outside looking in is going to be Ole Miss. Ole Miss is going to roll right back up in there, right? Ole Miss lose the Egg Bowl. All right. That puts South Carolina as the first team out. All right. Arizona State loses. South Carolina slides in. SMU loses. South Carolina slides in.
You know what,
bro? Yeah.
Chase,
back to the crack pipe. You gotta have the Egg Bowl. You gotta have the Iron Bowl.
Yeah.
You gotta have the Palmetto Bowl.
Yes,
that
sir.
That means you're going to the Toilet Bowl, my friend.
That was pretty good. Here's my thing, man. I'm a South Carolina fan. We're on a great run. We've had a great year. We're doing excellent as a team. I'm gonna lobby just as hard as I can. And I mean, I know like the 12 is like you want your big names in there, right? But here's my thing: you got teams up here. We do it in basketball every single year. All right, Duke is there, North Carolina's there, Wisconsin's there,
The Blue
Florida,
Bloods.
yeah, Kentucky. That's cool. Everybody expects that. And then you got George Mason sitting over here. And they just start dog walking people and getting up there. And then it's the ESPN special for him. And this player, look at this. His grandma raised him. Can you believe he's a point guard now? And you get all these cool stories from this stupid Cinderella story we get every year in college basketball. Slide South Carolina in there, and you can do all the Cinderella stories you'd like to do right there. They come from nothing. They're only projected to win 4.5 games. Look at them now. Kirk Herbstreit hates their guts because his children played at Clemson. And South Carolina dog walks Ohio State every single time they play them.
When's the last time y'all played Ohio State?
Outback Bowl like 3 times in a freaking row. I forget. It was the year before they won the national championship. We had them in the Outback Bowl that year. And then it was like 2 years before that, and then like 4 or 5 years before that. And for a while, it was like Ohio State and South Carolina kept drawing the whole Outback Bowl together.
Oh, I didn't even know South Carolina had made a bowl game that many times, but you learn something new every day.
It's crazy that you keep sneak dissing me when your team is not done anything of remoteness that I can think about this year. That's great. Other than beat Bama. But I mean, as the season goes on, a lot of people ain't hanging their hats on beating Bama no more.
No, not after last week. But for some
Bama's
reason,
slowly falling
the
apart.
committee still got them the first two out, man. Wow.
It's because of the name. That's all it is.
ESPN's got Alabama's FPI at number 4 right now, too, still. It's pretty crazy to see how much of the Bama love is still going on.
After losing to Oklahoma.
Hey, look. You don't just walk into Norman at night and win the football game. You don't just walk in there at night and put it on the Sooners.
I will say.
I mean,
I have an argument for that.
Tennessee does. We did that.
South Carolina did that.
Y'all played them at noon.
It don't matter what time we play them. Ass was
I said at night.
Oh, what's that got to do with anything?
Prime time.
Oh,
baby.
Come on.
I will say, guys, that Texas is liable to lose. Notre Dame is liable to lose. Even Miami can lose. SMU can definitely lose.
Who's Miami got this week?
Syracuse.
And they still got the ACC championship game.
Yeah. So it's
still got 2 games.
But Miami's only a 1-loss team right now, right?
Yeah, but
you lose 2 games though. That's 3
2
losses
in the ACC. It is not equal. It's about equal to 3 losses in SEC. They're going to start having to do that math.
Well, I would say the ACC is tougher than what Indiana's played.
100%.
Right.
My high school team's in the
joke.
playoffs right now, and they can get Indiana.
Yeah, I think Indiana though is protected by playing Purdue. There is no
Purdue is literally the worst football team in Power 4.
Exactly. So that's why they're not going to get the second loss. So I think Indiana's in kind of no matter what. Arizona State can lose. Clemson can lose.
Hold on, isn't Ohio State and Penn State got to go for the championship? Or no? Am I lost there?
No, I think they're still.
I think it would be Oregon. No.
Yeah, it'd be Oregon versus Ohio State.
That's right. I forgot. So one of those teams got to take a loss too. Which Oregon's undefeated and Ohio State's a 1-loss team, so they're still in.
Yeah.
I think that regardless of what happens in the Big Ten,
they're getting 3 teams.
Yeah, they're going to get those 3 teams in, and then maybe Penn State as well.
So let me hold on. This.
Then that would give them. That's going to give them 4 if we automatically bid Indiana in. You still got Penn State standing there.
Yeah.
And you got Ohio State and you got Oregon. You know Ohio State and Oregon are in. That's 4 teams.
Yeah, there's 4 teams in. Yeah.
And then how many you take from the ACC?
So my question is, where does the committee have to tweak this next year to start incorporating some of this FPI or strength of schedule, kind of like the NCAA basketball tournament does.
Get rid of the fifth.
What?
Get rid of the force Notre Dame to join a conference.
Yes. 100%.
Or get rid of the group of 5 qualification. Like if they make the group of 5 champion qualification, if they make the top 12, let them in. If they don't, fuck off.
Yeah, because I think that's so dumb that the group of 5 champion gets an automatic. Even if they're not even ranked.
You want to know what was crazy?
That's the crazy part.
I was thinking about this the other night. If we like right now, we're going by the 12-team playoff. Thankfully, if you go back 3 years ago, we probably don't even have an SEC team playing for a national championship.
3 years ago.
Let's go back to the normal way it was in college football. Last
you mean
two
the
teams.
First Georgia championship?
That's what I'm saying. Look right here, the way we got everything laid out with the fighting that the SEC has went through this year, getting after each other.
Uh-huh.
You'd have a hard case throwing them if you just went off like that above Ohio State, Oregon, Penn State, all these teams right there. It would be hard for someone because there's so many losses in the SEC this year. Minus
Georgia,
Texas.
Georgia was undefeated that year when they won the national championship.
No. Y'all ain't understanding me. The system that we used like 3 years ago for college football that we always used.
Yeah,
like,
the top 4 teams.
There you go. We would have a hard time getting the SEC in here if that was the case. And it would be 1. You would have Oregon and Ohio State 1 and 2. So you already got both of them would go into the top 4. And do you put Indiana in there as a 1-loss team? And then you got the SEC. If Texas loses, I don't know how you would put an SEC team in that if we're going by this logic here. I'm just saying how crazy it is now.
I got what you're saying. So
so you're saying with the top 4.
Yeah,
Texas, Oregon,
Georgia.
But see, and like I said, Texas still has 2 games to play. If they beat A&M, they got to go to the SEC championship game. They lose that, they would still be a 2-loss team. You'd have a hard time getting them up there in front of what we got here.
I mean, it definitely
with the way the SEC is now.
It definitely gives teams a lot more of a chance to kind of, make amends for maybe having a bad Saturday, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Now, I will say, some people argued that it cheapens the regular season. I actually think that this has made the regular season way more exciting because I watched a lot more football games last week that didn't pertain to Tennessee, just because if they lost, it helped Tennessee. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I will say it definitely doesn't cheapen the regular season, but if anything, it cheapens the conference championship game.
Absolutely.
You don't want to fucking play that. Like you want to be in our spot, ideally. You want to have Vandy.
Georgia does not want to play in the SEC championship. They do not want to play in the SEC championship. Texas A&M does. Texas does not want to have no part of the SEC championship game.
Yeah.
I don't think Texas wants to see Georgia again.
Yeah, they don't. They're a shit ton.
And I don't think Georgia wants to see Texas A&M fighting for their lives.
No, I don't either. Which I don't know. I've watched one Texas A&M game this year.
The only team that Georgia's really got up for all year is Tennessee.
Yeah. Oh, well, I mean, Georgia's drugged their feet most of the year. I mean, it started out barely beating anybody. Struggled against everybody.
I'd go out on a limb to say I don't know that they would have beat us if they played us in Neyland.
Maybe.
Neutral side against A&M? I don't know, man.
Yeah. It all depends, right? Like, I think all of these teams have had like one miracle quarter, right? Like A&M versus LSU, one miracle half, right? Bama versus Georgia first half. Tennessee versus Alabama second half. All of these teams have had that kind of like amazing display, except for Texas. Really, like of these top SEC teams, I can tell you when they played their best football. When did Texas play their best football against a good team? I still don't have an answer for you. So South Carolina, even they've fucking smashed A&M. They've smashed a whole bunch of other teams. Obviously, the loss versus LSU was just that was soul crushing.
Mm-hmm.
And if they fucking win that game, if the we talked about the penalties during that game, but like if they win that game, they're in, man. Like
don't cry about the refs. Don't be that guy.
I don't have to. ESPN does it for me now.
So yeah,
even they acknowledged it. That was really nice that ESPN even acknowledged that, and the SEC Network did last Saturday. They were talking about this subject, and I forget which one it was, but he was like, "How crazy is it?" He said, "We all sat here and watched South Carolina LSU, and all the touchdowns South Carolina got called back, all the penalties South Carolina had, and they were still right there the whole time, winning 2-touchdown lead, and it was just like falling backwards." He's like, "And if you just take away one of the touchdowns, give them back one of the 4 that you called back," he said, "South Carolina's there. They're in the 12." Yeah. But I mean, hey, man, lost to LSU by 2 points. We missed like 257 field goals against Alabama and lost by 3 points.
You guys had one bad game, and that was Ole Miss. Every other game you're in the game.
Ole Miss, we were terrible. We were terrible from the jump. I mean, the first 5 minutes of the game, I was sitting around, I was like, we're getting ready to get the doors beat off us. And that's the only game this year I've truly felt like South Carolina was getting ready to get throttled. And whenever I saw it, the defense was halfway playing. The offense was struggling. But, yeah, Ole Miss beat the brakes off of us. 38-3, I believe. They rolled us.
Yeah, so I will say that I feel like we're lucky as Tennessee fans to not qualify for this SEC championship game.
Yeah, 40 chess.
40 chess by Heupel
in Fayetteville, Arkansas. He knew.
He knew.
He had the foresight to see that Arkansas loss would keep us out of the SEC championship game. Yeah, 40 chess.
Get us into the playoff.
Get us into the playoff, baby.
Crazy. Is it not crazy that we're talking about where, as a fan base, you're excited you're not playing for an SEC championship this year? It
feels like
it's crazy
loser mentality. It really
does.
Yeah.
But it's a game. It's a game now that teams have to play.
But it's self-inflicted almost to a certain degree because of the expansion. But I would say that the committee's done it. The committee has made fans not want to be, or teams not want to be in a conference championship game. Change it. Change the way that they weight the appearance in an SEC or Big 10 or Big 12 conference championship game, and then you'll change the opinion and the perspective of the fans.
Yeah, one thing I want to mention is who's got it better than Notre Dame right now?
Nobody.
Nobody, man.
Nobody.
You don't have to
Notre
play
Dame
for shit. You're not in a conference.
You can lose to NIU, pound teams like Navy and Army, and make the playoffs.
Yeah, your quality wins are Navy and Army. Basically, it would be some chaos if they lost to USC. I definitely think they're liable to lose to USC. Like, I don't think that we should discount that at all, but they'll find a way.
Think about how sus that is that each time the Notre Dame played Navy and Army that they had them ranked.
Yeah. I mean, I
know Army's playing great this year. They were coming into that game, but come on,
dude! As soon as they lost to Northern NIU,
unranked.
NIU get ranked.
I told you.
Yeah.
I told you.
They got freaking ranked.
I called that out. At the beginning of the year in the podcast, it was like,
what?
NIU goes up the polls as soon as they beat Notre Dame.
I was like, who said? Do you know what? You want to know? You know something else crazy? The AP poll. There is still a dude in Ohio that to this day he still does not have South Carolina ranked in the top 25. Right now, he don't have them ranked in the top 25.
Even as an outsider, Chase, I will say,
but he's the only one. Everybody else has them ranked right about where they are. But
that's some big bullshit, man. South Carolina is a top 25 team for sure.
That's just crazy.
I put them right there at number 25. Yeah.
I don't even understand why you're hating on South Carolina so bad. We didn't play each other.
That's a little ridiculous, Josh. I'm going to have to back up Chase here.
It holds no weight for you to be that hard against South Carolina this year at this point in the season. There's literally zero reasons, unless you're worried that you lose to Vandy and South Carolina slides up here, because then you won't be a decent 2-loss team. You'll be one of the worst 3-loss teams in the SEC. Unless that's what you're scared of, I don't know.
No, just South Carolina, obviously, with the sign stealing they did a couple years ago.
Oh my gosh, here we go with that.
Coupled with Shane Beamer having the most punchable face outside of Eli Drinkowitz in all of college football.
Your coach has a face of a rooster. There's not even a chin on Josh Heupel. It is lip to here. He's like Beaker from the Muppets. What are you talking about? A punchable face?
I mean, I love grown up.
He didn't even have a chin strap when he played at Oklahoma. It was a neck strap.
Well, if you look back in his Oklahoma days, he was a skinny boy.
He was. He still didn't have a neck. It didn't make no sense to me.
I know he looks like grown up Bobby Hill. Like
he looks like Beaker. It's like it's just
you said Beaker?
Yeah, just flat all the way through. Like, what you doing, bro? You're a grown man. Grow a chin.
On here, okay?
Grow a chin. Don't be talking about Shane Beamer then.
Well, start your own South Carolina show, and you can make your rules.
I don't have to. That's what I'm here for.
But anyway,
guys. So we got 3 other big games.
Naveen trying to change the subject real quick. He's like,
I'm just trying to stay on task. We got enough of what we need.
Shane Beamer is a chump.
When he hung 63.
Yeah,
we got Bama versus Auburn, guys. Alabama -11. They're hosting Auburn. What do you think is going to happen with the spread? How does the game kind of play out? Right now, all I know is Alabama season is Jekyll and Hyde. They show up 2 weeks, they punt the next week. They show up 1 week, they lose the next week. So I think here we'll see Alabama win. I do like the 11. Give me Alabama -11 versus Auburn. I think they get it done. Josh, what are your thoughts, Alabama Auburn?
I mean, it's gonna be a boat race. The Right Reverend, he got some love last week there, with a quality win against the Aggies there at home. But Jalen Milroe, he did look not like himself at all. Norman last week.
Let him know.
Yeah, Lank, baby, Lank. But I'll tell you, one thing about those Bamers, they are not going to kind of roll over and die. The Iron Bowl, they got to have it. They're I'm telling you, man, they are not going to just lay down and let.
Tell them, buddy. Tell them.
Auburn, take away any piece of an opportunity to make the playoffs, because where there's still that little bit of hope out there, the committee's gonna somehow, to quote Naveen in the group chat, somehow next week Bama will be the 5th seeded team in the college football playoffs if they beat Auburn. It's the Illuminati, man. It's the CFP Illuminati at its finest. You'll see calls like that we had against A&M and Auburn last week, where in the second overtime, old buddy was getting held by the shoulder pads into the end zone. No flag. Auburn was on the 2-yard line about to beat A&M in the second overtime. And somehow by second down, they were first to goal on the 2, and somehow by second down, they were on the 35-yard line. That will be Auburn's fate all day Saturday. Trust me. They ain't getting out of the Iron Bowl alive. As much as I want to see War Eagle fly down the field, those wings are going to be clipped, baby.
Dude, this just shows how biased you are. You have gave Alabama so much more love and hate towards South Carolina, and you're a Tennessee fan. It just shows your bias tonight. It just shows your bias tonight. They're not going to stay down against Auburn. Them Bammers.
They're not. They're not. The Alabama Illuminati,
War damn Eagle.
Man. I mean,
Eagle.
Where does the love that you're talking about come from? I'm not giving them any love. I think Alabama's horrible, but there is nothing that is going to keep the committee, from giving Alabama an opportunity to be in the playoffs. The SEC, I mean, the league office is in Birmingham. It's just one of those things, man.
You think if Alabama wins, they go in the top 12?
Well, it just depends
I
on
think
how much
they need
chaos.
help. They need help. They need help, Chase. But I think that they will get the help. Let's not forget.
I mean, I'll tell you what. That's why I'm terrified about our road game against Vanderbilt a little bit, because there will be mutually exclusive things that have to happen in order to get Alabama back into that race.
Mm-hmm.
And let's not forget that this game is.
I'm putting my
tinfoil.
I'm putting my tinfoil hat on right now. Call me a conspiracy theorist if you want to.
Boy, if Vandy wins, I'm coming on the show next week.
Well, I'm telling you, if Vandy wins, Alabama's making the playoffs.
Yeah.
Period.
Yes.
Yeah.
If they beat Auburn,
it won't be y'all. I promise.
If they beat Auburn,
all three of us will be some pissed off dudes come next week if Tennessee loses to Vandy. I promise.
If Bama is in the top 12 by the end of this year, I will be pissed.
Even if y'all curb stomp Clemson.
No, we're going to curb stomp them.
I'm telling you.
It won't be a game.
They're going to find a way to get those Bamers back into the hunt somehow.
Let's not forget that they found ways to get them in when it's 4. You guys don't think that these people are capable of 12?
No. Yeah, exactly. Remember 2 years ago when we had the same record? Same record. And they ranked them 5th and us 6th at the end of the year when it was the 14 playoff.
Yeah.
And we beat them head to head.
Yep. Yeah. And we lost the head to head and they still got in. So I don't think that there's, they have the playoff rules, right, that they supposedly follow. And then there's the exception A for Alabama.
Exactly, dude. Not only did we beat them head to head, I just remember this. Not only did we beat them head to head, but their other loss was to LSU, who we also beat by 30.
Yep, we were at the game.
Still ranked them ahead of us.
The head-to-head discussion is, I think this year, just throw it out. Head-to-heads mean nothing this year. Nothing in the SEC. Absolutely nothing.
It should mean something, but
it should, but it doesn't.
But the committees make it.
Yeah. Look at it like this, okay? South Carolina throttled Texas A&M.
But y'all are ranked ahead of A&M.
Only because they continue to lose. All right. We smoked Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt smoked Alabama and LSU.
But you lost to Alabama.
That's what I'm saying, though. But if we're going off the head-to-heads with all of this stuff, it don't matter because we beat him, and then he beats you, and then we beat you, and then you beat him, and then you beat him, and then I beat him. But I'm just saying, it's just crazy. We're going so much with the head-to-heads, but there's so many teams that are losing to certain teams and winning. Ole Miss loses to Florida. Ole Miss beats us. It makes our head-to-heads this year in the SEC are just absolute wild.
But Florida's also lost, 5 games?
Yes. And then Ole Miss loses. A 2-loss team loses to them.
Yeah. But now they're a 3-loss team.
That's what I'm saying. Now they're a 3-loss team, but they lost to a team that's lost 5 ball games this year. They just got bowl eligible this week. So it's the head-to-head. I'm
talking more crazy. Of like the
now I understand what you're saying with
1 and 2 loss teams.
Last year. Yeah. I understand that, but that's what I'm saying. It's absolutely crazy the head-to-heads and how they flip-flopped.
So the SEC cannibalized each other.
You're saying Auburn, Chase?
Yeah, I got Auburn. I got Auburn -5.
Okay. Michigan, Ohio State. 3 years in a row. Michigan has smoked Ohio State.
The team up north, baby.
Yeah, they've been, aided by whatever they had.
Connor Stallions, baby. South Carolina knows about that.
Bluetooth technology, video review, all these refs, everybody was on Michigan. I think Ohio State finally gets it done.
You went up to the big game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was there. I was there.
That's what I'm saying.
2021, the first game that they won. Really crazy.
You started the streak.
I started the streak. Game breaker, baby. If you want to change a program, call me.
That's right. I mean, some people have Connor Stallions. Some people get Naveen. Naveen got them back.
Yeah, I mean, Chase, if you will go with the game with me, I will go to any South Carolina game. So just let me know next year.
Naveen, I'm going to tell you, buddy, as a transplant Tennessee fan, you're not going to want to go to Carolina.
Why?
You're not going to want to, because you'll leave with a garnet shirt on.
Okay.
That would never happen.
It would happen. When we beat Missouri, when we beat Missouri right there at the end, it's electrifying. When we beat Missouri, the crowd was so loud in Columbia, it registered on the Richter scale. They thought it was an earthquake. They sent a message out with the earthquake warning about an earthquake in Columbia. It was Williams-Brice Stadium. That's how loud it was. That's insane. You can be a Tennessee hater all you want to. That's insane. That's cool.
I think when you guys went to the Elite Eight with what is that guy? Sindarius
Thornwell.
Mm-hmm. I was there too. That you guys have crazy fans. I will say that.
Yeah.
For basketball, I can only imagine football, but I don't think it's as crazy as Tennessee at all.
Naveen, don't lay down now. Come on, tell about the Neyland effect.
The Neyland effect is very strong.
I'm not saying it. I mean, the SEC guys ever go to Ole Miss, they got their fan base is crazy. Georgia's fans bark at people. I mean, if you're in that fan base, it is awesome to experience, and as opposed, it's terrible. But I'm just saying it's electrifying in the cockpit.
Naveen was so curious about the only other fan base that's semi-close to Tennessee that he got on a plane and he flew his ass down to Louisiana to check it out. And we emptied that. We went to
LSU, Tennessee.
We emptied that thing in 10 minutes of football, boys.
I hate LSU and their fan base.
We emptied that thing in 10 minutes of football, boys.
Yeah. That was quite the stomping. So let me get your guys' thoughts on Michigan, Ohio State quickly, and we'll go to Texas.
Ohio State, man. By
Ohio State.
How many day wants to win by?
Yeah.
Okay. So Texas A&M, I think this is the game of the week.
Gig 'em Aggies, boys. Gig 'em.
I think, it's going to be crazy.
Gig 'em Texas Aggie, man.
I would never pull for A&M. I didn't realize they had the dude in the overalls that did the weird chant stuff. I did not know they'd done that until they done it. They come to South Carolina and done it on our state capitol. And all of them are over there with their arms around each other. And he's like, South Carolina's defense. He's up there looking like Bob the Builder, trying to talk trash about our defensive line. And then we sacked them 275 times. I was like, I will never. I thought it was a fruitcake intervention. I didn't know what was going on up there. But no, it was just a Texas A&M gathering. So I'm going with Texas.
Okay.
It helps South Carolina out if they won, boy.
So we'll just go through a little bit of our best bets here. Last one of the regular season. We'll continue through the bowl games and the playoffs. So these records will change, but I'll go through Andy's and mine. South Carolina and Mel. So Andy's got South Carolina winning. Tennessee -11, USC +7.5, A&M +6.
You picked Clemson?
That was Josh.
Naysayer no, baby.
That was Josh.
You picked Clemson to beat us?
Oh yeah.
So you are a crab apple dog.
Yabbo dabbo, baby.
So Josh, why don't you go through your picks?
Okay, well, hold on. Can you zoom in a little bit? I'm on my phone.
Yeah, I'll just read them out. Tennessee -11.
There you go. Yeah, of course. We're going to go down to the west end of Nashville and take care of business and be playoff bound, unlike another team that's in the Palmetto State.
Okay, Clemson -2.5.
Yep, Dabo's going. He's going to make it do what it do. Sunsets in the west and rises in the east, boys.
A&M plus 5.5.
What does that mean? What does that mean?
It's just routine, baby. Beating South Carolina.
A&M plus 5.5.
Yeah, gig 'em, Texas Aggies. Let's go.
Ohio
Hands
State
down,
minus
all day.
21.
Yeah, Coach Day is going to win by however many he wants. That's not going to be close.
Okay, and LSU minus 6.
Go Tigers.
For me, I got South Carolina,
Woo!
Ohio State minus 21. Vanderbilt covers but doesn't win plus 11.
Hold on, Naveen. You got South Carolina to cover or to win or both?
South Carolina's going to win the game.
Okay.
Ohio State minus 21. Vandy plus 11. Florida minus 14.5 versus FSU. FSU trash.
Man, they really got broken last year at getting left out of the playoffs, didn't they?
Yeah, when Jordan, what's his name? Jordan Travis's
broke his
leg
leg.
broke, the program broke.
Yep.
USC plus 7.5. I'm going Texas minus 5.5.
Boo.
Smart man.
Memphis.
Smart man.
I think Chase, you said you wanted Texas too, right? So
Yeah, that's right.
I'll fix that for you 1 second.
Yeah, I'll never pull for A&M. If A&M is playing East Lafayette High School, yeah, I'm not pulling. I can't pull for it. Once the dude in overalls and had his ass cheeks bedazzled on him, I can't pull for him, dog. I can't do it.
Hey, calm down, Chase. You're going to break YouTube's community standards if you go too much further into that.
I just said a bedazzled ass. I don't wear Mr. Me jeans neither.
Hey, I got you.
Memphis plus 14.5.
Gig 'em Aggies.
Arizona State minus 8.5 and Oklahoma plus 6. I like what they did versus Bama, so continue there. And then Chase, you got 5. You got your picks too. You got Ole Miss minus 26.
Yep.
You got Georgia minus 19.
Yep.
Vandy plus 11.
Yep.
Auburn plus 11.5.
Yes, sir.
Florida minus 14.5.
Yes.
Texas minus 5.5.
Yes, sir.
And that South Carolina.
Carolina.
Getting
Stay cocky, baby. We done killed one tiger. We're getting ready to kill another.
I'm telling you what.
Tell us,
South Carolina. They don't have a chance against Dabo this year, man. I'll tell you,
I'm just excited.
It's hard, as hard as it is for you to cheer for, the Aggies.
That just lets me know you've watched zero Clemson football this year. That just lets me know right there.
I don't need to.
You're right.
You ain't got Connor Stallion signals this year. You got to go down to Spartanburg or wherever it is.
Spartanburg.
What kind of dump town is?
Are you just naming random cities in South Carolina?
Yeah. There's only 2 towns, like Columbia and Greenville, right?
Yeah, because nobody knows where Myrtle Beach is in South Carolina or Charleston.
Oh, that's a beach. It's not really a town, but yeah.
Charleston.
All right, guys. I'll close with a hoops update. Tennessee.
Let's talk about this, man. How about Memphis? How about the Tigers taking down UConn yesterday, man? What's going on with their coach calling referees the hard, mentally handicapped name?
Yeah, I mean,
talking about getting canceled.
He's crazy.
Shane Gillis says it. We're allowed to say it again.
Yeah. I think for the
not
most
on
part,
YouTube. Can't on YouTube.
Tennessee is not playing anybody, and that kind of sucks because the rest of the country is playing better teams.
We beat Baylor. We literally just beat Baylor.
Yeah, there's one game. We're not in it. What kind of tournaments are we in, Josh?
Oh, we were in that. It was that tournament with the Maui tournament. Not Maui. Is one like the Maui tournaments that Memphis just played in. We played Virginia, and we played Baylor. Smashed both of them.
So we won?
It's in the Bahamas. Yeah, we won the Bahamas.
Okay. All right. I mean, at least this week.
Lady Vols scored 100 points against everybody. I think there's another team represented here that lost recently with their women's program. I think against UCLA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when
It's hard-
football's over, they can't go back to women's basketball to cheer.
Yeah,
Have something to cheer about.
they broke our record of winning like 40 some consecutive straight games. The
Yeah.
former national champion, the former SEC champion, the year before as well, off a year. The year again, get out of here. Get out of here.
Hang your hat on women's basketball,
Yeah,
bud.
hey,
There
bro,
you
hey,
go.
you brought it up. You can talk a lot of junk at South Carolina. Women's basketball ain't the one to go with.
Hey,
Try our swimming team.
there's one team that's represented here that's undefeated, and that's the Lady Vols. That's
Yeah,
right.
the season
And our
started
coach,
a week ago.
our coach doesn't believe that men should play women's sports.
Guys, like
Okay.
I will say it's been exciting to watch these Maui tournaments and these other tournaments going on. You get to see Memphis, UConn, all these different teams. We
901, baby.
Right now we're seeing
Chase drop.
Houston versus Bama. Yeah, he had to go.
Bet he did.
Houston versus Bama, Duke versus Kansas. Just really cool to see it at a time where everybody's back home with family and just able to watch sports.
Best time of the year, man.
Yeah, it's a great time of the year. We got all the majors going on right now. What's interesting is from a college football perspective, we got so many games on Friday now.
Yeah.
Like they've made the Egg Bowl on Friday.
That's right.
They got we have a Thursday game, but it's no longer the Egg Bowl. There's like 10 games on Friday.
Is LSU Arkansas on Friday? Are they playing Friday? That's typically one that's on Friday. One of those rivalry games like that.
Yeah, let me just check for you. So
it's good. It's good to see A&M and Texas back on for Thanksgiving weekend too, man.
Yeah, so on Friday they got Georgia Tech.
Yeah.
The other game is on Saturday, but I mean it's a full weekend of sports. Obviously, this was the last weekend was the chaos weekend. Hopefully, this is another chaos weekend as long as Tennessee beats Vandy.
Yeah. What's Mama Naveen got on the menu for Thursday?
We don't do turkey because I don't know. Around 5 or 6 years old, I was like, yo, this turkey sucks, man. This is for white people.
Dang, no butterball going in the oven?
No butterball. I typically make steak.
You got a honey baked ham or anything?
I make steak, man, because it's just me and my dad that eat like red meat, and my mom will just eat Indian food. So we'll do half Indian food, half like steak or wings.
Just go get some Peck Peck, man. That's what I would do. Shout out to Peck Peck if you want to sponsor.
Dude, I think I'll be at Peck Peck on Friday.
There you go.
So
Peck Peck on lock.
Yeah. Protect the chicken.
Found, funny enough, I found a Peck Peck close substitute in Hope Mills.
Okay. What is that called?
It's called Paradise Acres.
Paradise Acres. Korean Korean chicken?
No. It's old country fried chicken. It's good stuff.
Okay.
Very, how like the bread on the Peck Peck is?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very similar?
Same. Very similar.
Okay.
Very crispy, very clogged artery, very not good for you, but also good for you at the same time.
All right. Closing message for us. I just want to wish everybody out there happy Thanksgiving. Enjoy the time with your family. Watch some sports. Watch Lucky Top. Now you don't have work for Thursday and Friday, probably. Catch up on your recent episodes. See what we all think about the playoffs. Subscribe, interact with us. Ask us questions. Challenge us. Do whatever you need to do. We'll be here next week to talk about, the final
about Tennessee freaking making the playoffs and South Carolina not. So sorry, Chase. Sorry, all the South Carolina fans that have watched my show and Naveen's show over the past, months on end. I know Chase comes on and gives a lot of you guys some false hope. Gamecocks ain't making it, no matter how close you are to being on the, the outside of the top 12. But yeah, so all those great things that Naveen said. Have a great holiday season. Catch up on our shows. And for Lucky Top Sports, I'm Josh. He's Naveen. We'll see you next week. Go Big Orange. Be Vandy.
Go Vols.